Hello everyone, my name is Dawn Stranger and I'm an abstract artist from Oak Park, Michigan, Metro Detroit area. Shout out to the D, what up though? I'd like to welcome everyone to my first virtual studio tour. I'll be briefly explaining how I got my start, what inspires me, as well as you guys will be able to check out some of my work shortly. Well, I got my start back in 2006. My mom has a really good friend whose dad was an artist, and unfortunately, he passed away, and she gave Mom the art supplies. Well, I was visiting my mom, and I was extremely bored, so I pulled the art supplies out, and I just began to paint. You know, I'm self-taught. The only other art classes I've had were in undergrad and, in high school, and as a girl, Mom she would draw continuous loops and circles, and I'd color them in, and, so I've always had an eye for color. I've always liked color. I remember as a girl, my dad would take me to the Detroit Institute of Arts. So I was exposed at a very early age, to the actual art world. Never thought that I would be a part of the art world and be an artist. But so in 2012, from 2006 to 11, I did very little painting. I did stuff here and there, but never sold my work or pressed people about coming anywhere to see my work or anything like that. Well, in 2012, I sustained an injury at my job. I am a former juvenile corrections officer for Wayne County, and I was devastated when I found out I could not return back to work to look after my young people. That is all I've ever known. I've been working with at-risk youth since 1996, so that's my entire adult career, basically. Well, I really didn't know what to do, so they left me hanging around for about 18 months dangling, and they finally let me go. And I'm like, wow, I'm 42. What am I going to do? So I had a great talk with myself, and I looked around my basement, and I had tons of art by this time because I began going really, really hard back in 14. My very first event was a live painting competition. And it was just the most awesome, feeling. And I realized that was something that I really could get used to doing, But the real defining moment came for me in 2017 when I was the second place winner, online winner, in the Bombay Sapphire Artisan Series. So my piece actually sold. So given that is when I realized, you're really, really, really onto something. The response and the feedback that I was getting at this point was just phenomenal. So I went even more hard and just continued creating more work. And, so to speed it up to 2019, I am an administrator, not the creator, but the administrator for Black Abstract Artists on Facebook. I was brought in from a really cool artist named CVL out of Texas, I believe Dallas. And, he asked me would I help him run the group. So I've been running that group now. I think now it's been almost like 2 years. In fact, it's been a couple years now. So I found out that Danny was in the group. Danny saw some of my work and he liked it, encouraged me to submit to a show that he had called I Can Do That over at Rush. And we had an opening over at Upper Darby with Noah Smalls. And the energy at that show was just off the chain. I don't know any other way to put it. But it's just been a wonderful, wonderful journey. I don't know what else is in store at this point. I'm not even really, I've learned, and I got this from Russell Simmons. I saw this on his page, and he says, when you expect nothing, you gain everything. And pretty much that's how I view life, along with the art world. So enough of me. Let me share my actual workspace with you guys, and I want to show you some things I'm currently working on, and then in a few moments we'll head over to the other side of the studio and you can check out some work. So this guy here, of course these are old towels just from cleaning my utensils and stuff, and I think I'm gonna see what else I have in with this, and what else I can pull out of this and see if I can create a line, actually. I did recently purchase some pouring paints. Not too sure how I feel about it yet. I've only done it one time, and I'm not really sure if I really like it yet. But I am having fun with this silicone oil here. I've dabbled with resin. Haven't done resin in quite some time. I've done ink, distressed ink. I do have a piece I want to share with you all. It was a dedication piece to my dad that I did with the ink. And remember how tiny this brush is. So when we go and check that other piece out, you will really understand how hard I worked on that piece. This is actually my first attempt at a pour piece with the pouring paints. I plan on tweaking this a little bit more, you know. When I'm done with this, I'm going to post this so you guys can see what the finished product looks like. Little heat gun. Word of advice, if you get that heat gun, go to a hardware store. Don't buy that at a craft store. You're going to get taxed. One thing that is absolutely essential for me, minus the water, no pun intended, I have to have music. I prefer deep house music. The heavy bass lines just really do something. It's almost as if my hands become separate from my body, and they just kind of create these rhythmic motions that I'm really not aware of until after my piece is done. This piece here is called Absolute Existence of Motion. It's actually going to be going to Lansing. I have a really good friend that is a state representative for Michigan, and this is going to his office, actually. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, I have not mentioned my technique. I am a big-time puller and scraper. Anything I can get my hands on to scrape with, I'm scraping. With every tool creates a different effect, so I've learned what to use, you know, for whatever effect I'm trying to get. This is not finished. I have no idea where I'm headed with that, but I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. Give me a couple minutes, and I'm going to get set up on the other side so you can check out some more work. All right. Here we have, this piece is actually the flyer piece for an all-women's show at the Aquaba Gallery in Newark called A Window to Her Soul. This is a piece, this is oil pastel and an acrylic. I actually prefer to create texture. I like creating texture. Get a little closer. Sorry for the shadow, folks. But as you can see, lots and lots of texture. This is actually Silver Shadows. Created a lot of buzz when I did my solo show back in September at Level 1 Bank in Ferndale, Michigan. This is my dedication piece called 10-6. My attempt at a dirty pour. This is actually called Follow Me. Now, the importance of music again. These bottom two pieces are called Jump and Prance. This is a song it's a house music song, and I must have been feeling like jumping and prancing that day because I felt that it was perfect, you know. This guy here, this lady here, this is actually titled Eludis, and this is part of my 8 Types of Love series. There are 3 pieces to this so far. I only have 1 left, though. The other 2 are gone. My dedication to Detroit and the Detroit Tigers. This is called Batter Up. And as you can tell, orange is one of my favorite colors. Especially when I'm painting, orange and purple just seem to work really well. This bottom piece here, this top piece, I'm sorry. It's called Zip It. This piece was actually a part of Art Prize back in Grand Rapids, Michigan, back in 2017. Once again, I've added glass bead gel for the texture. Broken and Blue. Very, very, very personal piece. I was just feeling completely apart when I created this. For those that know me, everyone knows I'm a humongous Prince fan. This is called Alphabet Street is on the top. Alphabet Street 1, actually. And Private Joy is on the bottom. That was also a cool negative space piece to experiment with. Want to give a nice plug for Mac Galleries in Detroit, Michigan. They do wonderful framing. This bottom row full of texture. Another dirty pour. This was my tribute to A Tribe Called Quest. My titles actually come a lot from pop culture. I don't paint from a very sad place most of the time. I really try to paint from a happy place, but sometimes you just do what you do. The top piece is Inner Workings of You. This was cool because I actually painted the actual canvas with a color that I don't normally paint with, you know, to create a different effect versus just a plain white background for the negative space. I love hearts. Again, you know, check out the purple and the orange. Lots of scraping going on. Lots of scratches and layers and textures. This bottom piece is actually called Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. This piece up top is actually the piece that I used the distress ink on. Those are actual song lyrics that my dad wrote. And I blew up the paper and just went ballistic on that paper. But I got the exact look. He wrote this in 1976. And I found all of his original lyrics. This is Mom's dedication piece. This is called, I want to get closer for the texture here. This is called 1947. Lots and lots of texture. And red is her favorite color. She says you never really use red. And so this was most definitely a piece that I made just for my mom. Once again, we've got on the bottom here, we've got computer blue. And please bear with my camera skills, folks. I think everyone is kind of trying to get adjusted to the new wave of showcasing. If you want to see more of my work, please follow me, Art by D String, ART_BY D String is my Instagram handle. I do have an online portfolio at artbydstring.crevado, CREVADO.com. This piece is actually called Grand Verbalizer. This is my tribute to X-Clan. This is my Human Tendencies piece, where I really swear that Frank Zappa popped up in my piece, you know. Again, lots of texture. Purple and orange again. I do want to share quickly this piece here. Not a really good shot, but this is actually in the legal aid office on Staten Island. This is an art book that I landed myself in, and this is Alphabet Street 1. And the surprise to that was, is they put me on the cover. So before I take off, I do want to talk about this piece here. This is called the Philadelphia Experience. I had the pleasure of painting in Al Johnson's studio over Rush Arts, and while looking out at Danny's mural, and just completely wowed at the fact that I could use all of my senses. And you know, I paint in my basement, so you know, I don't get a chance to hear all of that. There's my Bombay stuff. Oh, this piece straight ahead was done on wood with cold wax, and that's a cold and caustic wax. Very cool piece. I thoroughly enjoyed playing around with that. Gonna revisit that again too. So yeah, so this is my space, and I hope you all enjoyed it like I did. And please follow me. My name is Dawn Stringer. You can check me out on Facebook, Instagram at Art by D String, or you can check out my online portfolio at artbydstring.crevado. That's CREVADO. Thank you.